Lesson 3-6, measurement, perimeter, and area. This is referring to perimeter and area of rectangles. So it tells us in the box at the top, the distance around a geometric figure is called the perimeter. To find the perimeter of any geometric figure, you can use addition or you can use a formula. And that's true with a rectangle. The perimeter of a rectangle is twice the length plus twice the width. So if I'm looking at the formula, P for perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. And here's why. When I draw a rectangle, I have length and width. The opposite sides are the same. So these two are the same measurement. They're both the length, L. And then these two are the same. They're both the width. So if you added them up, it's length plus width plus length plus width. A shortcut would be 2 lengths plus 2 widths. When they show you example 1 and they want the perimeter of this rectangle that's got a 105 feet length and 35 feet width, they really just add up all the numbers. They really just added all the numbers. They didn't even use the formula. But so on that, the formula is kind of optional. If it's easier just to add, then you can do that. When you write in the units, perimeter is a measurement. It's a length. So whatever the unit is there, that's what the unit should be. Now, they've made a mistake, haven't they, in example 1? Did anybody catch their mistake? How long does it say in the picture that that rectangle is? 105 feet. Look how they labeled that.
Inches.
That's a mistake. It would have to be 280 feet. It's got to be the same unit. It's got to be the same unit. Okay, so basically when you are finding perimeter, it's the distance around. So I always use the example of putting in a flower garden at my house. So if I was putting a flower garden in my house and I wanted to put some kind of decorative fence around it, I would need to know the perimeter around that flower garden to know how much fencing to buy to enclose that area. Area, though, is how much surface is covered. So how much mulch would I need to cover that surface of the whole flower garden? So that's the difference. Perimeter is the distance around it. Area is the amount of surface covered. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. You're actually calculating how many little square units fit inside that rectangle. So if you look at example 2, it shows that it's 24 centimeters this way and 12 centimeters this way. So out of that whole shape, they take 12 times 20, 24 times 12, and there are 288 small squares in that shape. And that's why it is called square centimeters. Now I want to show you, this is really important, 288. You can label this centimeters cm with a little 2. That's centimeters squared. Or if you want, you could go 288 SQ for square centimeters, like that. Here's the one that you cannot do. You can't say 288 with a little 2 on it. Because what's that saying if you put a little 2 on the 288, Irene?
280 squared.
That means 288 squared. 288 times itself. So that is wrong. If you're going to use the little 2, it goes on whatever the unit is, not above the number. Okay, so we're going to look at some of these and try some. Let's look at example or exercise 1. Number 1 shows that we have a rectangle. What's the length of this rectangle in number 1? What's the length? What's the length of that rectangle, Michael?
30 centimeters.
30 centimeters. What's the width? Kyler? 7 centimeters. So to find the perimeter, we can simply add them up. So we can say 33 plus 7 plus 33 plus 7. And we can just add all the way around because this one's 33 and this one's 7. So if I added those all up, what's 33 plus 7? 40. And then another 33 plus 7 would be another 40, right?
80.
So the perimeter would be 80 centimeters. So you can just add it up just like that. But on number 3, where it says find perimeter and area, we're gonna use the formula. We're gonna use the formula. So we're gonna do number 3. The directions I want to read very carefully. Find the perimeter and area. So on number 3, what's the length?
9 feet.
9 feet. What's the width?
4 feet.
4 feet. So first of all, we're going to do perimeter, and I'm going to write perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So my perimeter, 2 times, what's the length again? Brandon, what'd you say? 9. Plus 2 times, what's the width again? 4. So now we just have to solve. What's 2 times 9? 18. What's 2 times 4? 8. We have to add 18 plus 8. What's that, Skip? 18 plus 8. 18, 26. And we would label it what? 26? No, look at the picture. Feet. 26 feet. Now we need to do area. What's area formula? What'd we say? Area of a rectangle, how do you find the area? Length times width. So we're going to plug the two numbers in. 9 times 4. What's 9 times 4?
36. 27.
36. And we're going to say feet squared. 36 feet squared. All right. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to do one with the decimal. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do number 6. It has length is 3.5 meters and width is 2 meters. So there's no picture with it. It's just giving you the information. So we're going to do the two formulas, perimeter, and for your assignment, I'd like you to write this down for each problem. Perimeter, P equals 2L plus 2W. That means 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. What am I going to put in for L for number 6? What am I going to put in for L, Kirsten? What's it say? On number 6, what's the length? So numbers 3.5. So we're going to put 2, and I'm going to use parentheses instead of a dot because of that decimal. 2 times 3.5 plus 2 times, what's the width? 2. Yep. So 2 times 3.5. So 3.5, and I'm doubling it. What would be 2 times 3.5? Does anybody know? What do you think, Freddie?
8.
Not quite 8. If it was 4, if it would be 4, 2 times 4 is 8, but it's only 3.5. So 3.5. 2, 3.5. Should we multiply it out? Let's try that. So we need to take 3.5 times 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. How many decimal places are in the problem? 1. So we move over 1. So it's 7.0, or we can just say 7. What's 2 times 2? 4. So the perimeter of that, what's 7 plus 4? 7 plus 4, 11. And we're going to say 11 meters. That was the perimeter for number 6, 11 meters. Now, for number 6, area. What's the formula for area again? Length times width. So we need to do 3.5 times 2. Don't we already know what 3.5 times 2 is? What is it? 7. And how do I label this one? 7. No, I'm talking about the label for the unit. 7 meters. What? It's area. 7 meters. Good. Squared. 7 meters squared. So on these, make sure you read the directions, whether it's just perimeter or perimeter and area. Make sure you label it correctly. Perimeter is just the plain unit. Area is the unit squared. Write the formula down and plug in the numbers. Are there any questions
Nope.
about any of these?